Hi, I'm Lata. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we are going to make a low-carb bread. Why a low-carb bread? Because more and more people today are having problems with gluten, with of course all kinds of reactions to the pesticides we have in our wheat. So that is one of the reasons why we get bloating and of course the digestive problems. So we're going to make a nice nut-based low-carb bread, starting with 1/4 cup of almonds, 1/4 cup of Brazil nuts, 1/2 cup of pumpkin seed, 1/4 cup of flax seed, 3 tablespoons of sesame seeds, 1.5 cup of almond meal, 1/2 cup of hazelnut meal, 3 tablespoons of coconut flour, 1.5 teaspoon of baking soda. We have 3/4 cups of silk protein. In Europe we don't have silk protein, so I use these kind of products. I didn't take this one because it has sugar in it, and at the moment I'm doing a period without sugar, so that's why I prefer to use another kind which doesn't have sugar. So at least you know the reason why I chose one or the other. Then we have salt. That's a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 1/3 cup of melted coconut oil, and then we have 3 eggs, and normally I would have taken 1 tablespoon of raw honey, and for the same reason that I'm doing at the moment a period without sugar, I have left the honey out. And that's why it's important now to start with our first ingredients. We are going to take the almonds and the Brazil nuts and put them in a processor. We start with 1/4 cup of almonds and 1/4 cup of Brazil nuts. You can also use hazelnuts if you don't have Brazil nuts. And then we start blending them at first to get them a little smaller in size, so that when we put the pumpkin seeds and the flax seed, that it will come about to the same texture. So now we can see that we have broken down the nuts to a certain roughness. So we'll add the pumpkin seed, the flax seed, and the sesame seed. And then we'll blend them till they're fine. I have an old machine, so it takes a little more time before gets into a fine meal, so we'll have to blend it a little bit more. So this is the texture we are looking for before we add our almond meal and our hazelnut meal. The baking soda and the salt and our hemp seed. And we put back the lid and get it till we have a nice fine meal. If you have an older machine like mine, be ready to scrape down the sides so that you can get all the little corners and get a more homogeneous mixture. We are almost there, so just a little more. So now we are going to mix the coconut oil, the eggs, and our nut protein. So we loosen the eggs. Add the coconut oil. Mix till it's well incorporated. And last but not least, we have our apple cider vinegar. There we go. And we put everything in there and we mix. Be sure to scrape down the sides because it's the same, the meal is sticking to the sides, and to get it all mixed together. There we go, and give it one little twirl and we are ready to go. So, okay, now I'm going to get the baking tin, which I have prepared beforehand. Here we go. I use a parchment paper, which I cut. I first measure the outsides like this, and then I draw the form onto my paper, and then I cut to the corners, and that way it's easier to fit it in my tin. And there we go. And sometimes I put some pins on the side because it has tendency when I put the dough into the tin that the flaps turn down. So I already prepared one, and ta-da, one like this. You can also use clothespins if you don't have any of these. This way, when you put the batter into the tin, it will not collapse on itself. So don't leave it too long into the mixing bowl because it will start to stiffen up. So get it as soon as possible into your baking tin, and then you can leave it for 15 minutes so that the coconut flour and the liquid ingredients can start doing their job. We put in apple cider vinegar with baking soda. That is to get the lightness into the bread. As we don't have any yeast and there is no proving, we will need to put agents in there that are good for us, like apple cider vinegar, which is very good for our health, for the gallbladder. And at the same time help our bread to be lighter. The flaxseed is actually working also like a agent, like a glue, to get the bread together, because as we don't have any gluten in our bread, we need to have some kind of ingredient to make it stick. So flaxseed does that beautifully to help. Ooh, I get everything on my fingers. There we go. Get this into the pan. There we go. I like to decorate the top of my bread with seeds which I have used in the bread to make it look prettier. It's advisable never to put sunflower seeds in your bread, as they will turn green, as they have a chemical reaction to the baking soda. So you can put them on the top, but not in your bread. Otherwise they will think it's gone bad. There we go. So there we have our bread ready to go into the oven. Take away the pins. We'll be baking it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 Celsius. There we go. And that will be for 3/4 of an hour or until a toothpick comes out clean. It's very handy to make 2 breads at the same time. It saves you a lot of time and work. So while our bread starts to rest, we can already start measuring our next batch of ingredients. And while it's in the oven, already start mixing the rest of the bread. That way we are ready for the whole week. This is to check if our bread is done. So the toothpick is coming out clean. That means it's ready to be taken out of the oven. So let's unmold the bread, take it out, and put it on a rack so that it can cool further and get rid of its moisture. There we go. Just Voila. And now we'll leave it so it can cool completely. Just like to let you know, don't leave it too long into the pan because it will get a lot of humidity and it will only make your bread soggy. So you see how easy it is to make this healthy low-carb bread for you and your loved ones. It's so good, you won't even miss the bread you were eating before. And if you would like the recipe, please follow the link below. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please go down to the section and leave your comments there for us. Thank you. Thank you for watching. And if you would like to have more recipes, please hit the subscribe button and also the bell so that you'll know that we're making more.
Are you seeing something suspicious?
In the description, please go into section.
No, it's below. Because normally from below.
Let's go home. You can clink. Clink. The link in the
Videos.
in the description, in the section below. That.